Hey everyone, welcome back. And we are going to be working on our color glazing again. And really, it's just kind of when we're doing color glazing in a painting like this, we're going to just kind of be refined. We're going to be refining the process throughout. So make sure that every time you clean up your palette, you give your painting a lot of time to dry before coming back to it. And then when you come back to when your painting is dried, it's going to look way different than what it looked like the night before. That is something to consider when you are wrapping up your piece. And you're like, I'm done. That's it. I'm going to rip off the tape. I'm done. I'm sending this thing off. I'm shipping. I'm calling my client. But then the next day you come back and you're like, wait, why does everything look weird? And there could be something. So in oil painting, they have a technique called oiling out. And it's when, so for various reasons, because you use so many mediums in oil painting, that at times when it dries, it can look weird. Like for instance, one portion might be very glossy because you used kind of a glazing technique. Another area might be very matte and look almost chalky and white because you used a different medium for that part. It might also look weird because of the layers that you added. Some might be a little bit thicker and some may be a little bit more thin and transparent. And when that happens, you think, like an inexperienced artist may think that they have to work on it again, that they have to add a new layer. And that's absolutely not the case. What they have to do is let the painting dry and do a method called oiling out. And that is when you apply a transparent, just no paint, just your one single medium to level everything out. You're kind of just pushing the oil back into the pigment again and kind of making everything even. And you'll start to see that the chalky areas will come, the colors will come back and everything will start to level out. Well, we can do that. I noticed that I can do that same type of thing with my gloss glazing liquid. But again, you really want to do that after it has dried, even though acrylic paint does dry very quickly. So what I will do is just let it dry. And the next day, if it looks weird, you can add just a clear layer of your gloss glazing liquid and you'll get a more accurate representation of your painting and if it does or does not need any more work. So you can see that there are parts where I am adding a little bit of white, and just to remind you, white will make your paint more opaque. And I'm okay with that because I did need some of those areas to pop back out again. I kind of lost my lightest values there. So it was okay for me to bring it back out again and then just lay down a transparent layer of color on top of that, just so I have that gradient of lightness to darkness back again. Okay, so this is where I was talking about where you can start adding in a little bit more of their skin color. And I'm not doing like a whole portrait where I'm doing like a ton of values. What I'm actually doing is laying in a lightened version of crimson, or I'm sorry, cadmium red. And what I'm doing is just kind of laying in areas where I'm kind of avoiding that highlight area so much. And if I do go over that highlight area, I'm just going to really thin it out with a glaze. But I'm using cadmium red and creating kind of a skin color with that only, with a little bit of maybe black, white, or maybe I can tone it out a little bit with gray. But the reason why I'm using that red is because I use that red all the time for a lot of skin colors, just in general, as like my blocking and value skin color. So I know already by having the experience that that color will make a good skin tone color. It kind of makes me feel a little bit more sure that it will work. But most importantly, I'm using that red because I'm using it for the entire piece as well. So it's not going to be a big deal if I kind of create light, dark values with that and make it into a skin color. Okay, I will see you in the next video.